All right. Guess who's
Back
back?
again.
Back again.
Round two, fight. Yeah, no, it was awesome, you guys. I know we had some buffering issues, and I don't know, Mike and I don't know that was coming through the YouTube infrastructure. So we
Buffering
figured
again,
to,
they're saying. We'll see. We'll see. I'm seeing a little bit of horrible quality, but definitely can't be from our end.
let me see
Something with
here.
the YouTube community. We gave you guys back your live stream, but at a horrible quality.
Let me see here.
Brandon saying 5 of 5.
Hmm.
I see Amy's in the room.
Nice, awesome. You guys are. Thank you so much for sticking with us, man. We don't know, like I said. You go to the Patriot Tech, our backup channel, and we've been doing live 1080p streams, call-ins, the whole 9 yards. And then we get our first Patriot Hour live feed granted back to us, and it's been bottlenecked, if you will, because, I mean, a lot of you guys out there know what the kind of machines and the network we're working with here in studio, and then, of course, where I'm beaming in from as well. That we don't normally have internet issues. We have a very robust downstream and upstream in our connection. So when you guys are telling us it's really buffering bad, it lets us know that it's not us, it's not you guys, it's the middleman called YouTube.
I'm not seeing any comments come in. I'm seeing people add. What's the last one you see? Donna, frozen screen.
I see Slim Frank or David Woodruff. We're back, and then that's it. That's the last one. We'll have some action shortly for sure. SoCo. I agree. Hopefully there'll be some action coming up for sure.
Yes, let us know if you're in the room. Chat. I'm not seeing anything.
Looking good. No buffering here. Nice.
All
Yeah,
right.
no, it was and it's kind of hard because, when you get into a good idea, a good topic, and get the juices flowing and you're talking a good conversation, and they start doing their tricks on us.
All right. So
Sharon Lisbanger said Obama in the news now. I don't know. Let me see here. Let me type it up.
would anybody want to call in and ask a question? Again,
Yeah, what's
our
up?
call in has to be through your device. Like it's a website. You log in really with just a password. Yes, Patrick Jorok. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. Jorok. Patrick. Dude, your videos have been hitting it. I agree, brother. Thank you.
It's been awesome, man.
Good picture quality here. Good. So yeah, if anybody want to call in, give anything to say, anything to add, anything that you just want to let us know. We'll
Now,
pull it up.
yeah, you were saying that one of the church thing was that Obama was in the news today. Now, was he personally, physically? Because I'm looking up like Obama news. There's a lot of stuff in the magazines and stuff. But was he actually on the news? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who said that. I'll go back a little bit.
Um,
Obama. Sharon Litzenberger.
so was it not 2016? So I keep on seeing a Politico article that came out today. That was the foolish quest to be the next Barack Obama. It was a Politico magazine article. Um, Michael, and I'm looking at that article. And like I said, folks, we're just looking for articles here. And yep, it's a article by the Politico.com, Politico magazine. Says a foolish quest to be the next Barack Obama. and it shows a picture of Obama, but it's a picture by Mark Meckel, and it's in the Getty Images. It doesn't look like to be a current picture taken yesterday that he was in the paper today. This is what we're talking about, you guys. So Obama, okay, so he's in the news, but I want to see like him actually talking, coming in front of him, just say, hey, it's because again, this is a Getty Images picture. So we can pull a bunch of Getty Images, and he's behind a big giant American flag. Yeah, what do you get over there when you type in Obama in news? Let's say Obama in news today.
$13 ago, the foolish quest to be the next Barack Obama, right?
Yeah, so click on that thing right there and look at that picture. And by the way, those stars in that American flag look kind of eerily upside down instead of right side up. Maybe that's just me. No, not your stars.
No,
on that article.
Trying to get a real view. I see 6 hours ago, a divider, not a uniter. That's just an article about him. Warriors pay visit to Barack Obama. That's what it was 2 days ago.
Okay.
So, folks, the Warriors paid a visit during a road trip. This is supposed. The Warriors pay visit to Barack Obama during a road trip. Golden State Warriors stopped by ahead of their matchup against the Wizards. This is back on January 24th.
Okay.
So, a couple days ago. During their lone visit to D.C., the Golden State Warriors paid trip to the 44th President of the United States. So,
weren't they the ones that Trump got a bunch of hamburgers for? Those guys? That was okay.
That was a college, the college team.
So there you go. All right, folks. We thank you guys right there. Boom. It shows him all smiles and whatnot. So there you go. Look how tiny he is, by the way. He's a very short man.
Is YouTube anti-American? I think their headquarters are set up in a foreign country now, isn't it, or something? It might still be here.
Well, they have servers floating on barges just off the international waterways, but so does Google. So,
if you're a globalist, you're kind of not. You could say anti-American. You're just anti anybody being sovereign, I guess. So that's globalism.
KE, you're awesome. San Diego.
Yes. Super chat.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it's a good point. Okay, so that's the first picture I've seen here of him actually being in Obama being taking a photograph in the public eye. It's just interesting. Tendrum says new Q video released today, dark to light. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, people are putting in all kinds of stuff on there about the Q stuff. So I mean, when something comes out, so will we, I guess. But I'm an anti-globalist. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just saw pop up. I'm an anti-globalist. J.M. Stifler.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm the opposite of hands across the world. We are the world. We are the children. Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. We are the
globalists that want to take your sovereignty
away from everybody.
Give us, because that, folks, if you look into the We Are the World, which I did several years ago, like less than 10% of the monies collected ever made it to the hands of starving feed people. It just, just like when we give the $54 billion in foreign aid, it goes to governments, and you can guarantee a lot of them are lying in their pockets.
Yeah, I don't think, 50-something billion dollars is going to be going to the actual people. It's going to be going to the rulers of the people.
Yes. It's like our taxation for being part of the global system. And that was the whole this whole next one, they're saying, who is it? That AOC, that the world's going to end in 12 years. We need to give more power to the government, and all the countries need to start paying the governments to help fix global warming. So our money is going to do something. You would think that a bunch of money can change the system of what, like, now that their cars are everywhere that they've had us buying, and now they're like, oh, you guys are at fault for destroying the universe because of your cars, and we need more money out of you so we could research and development the next thing that we could shove down your throat when they already have it. It's free energy.
Yeah, yeah. It's I mean,
Yes, global warming is a myth. Regardless, that was the next thing to siphon money out of countries, folks.
if she's telling you that the world's going to end in 12 years, and it's the Alexandria or Cortez Ocasio or whatever, Ocasio Cortez, I'm going to get a 28-year-old tell me the world's going to end in 12 years. What type of scientific evidence is she basing this answer on? And the world's going to end in 12 years because of what? The water rises, it gets too cold, because they're telling me that global warming is warming, but it's getting colder. So that's how you know it's true, because it's getting warmer, but it's getting colder. See, global warming, it's getting colder. This is idiocracy, and for anybody to lap that up, like, would just be,
Folks,
yeah.
we can't go down these roads anymore. This is half the battle. AOC is a socialist. Never going to vote for her. She's agreed.
When you
Do
quote
people like that
Marxist
deserve the
comment,
platform even? According to our Constitution, kind of like, no. It goes against everything that our Constitution is, so therefore they shouldn't really get the platform, folks. But
if you run off of ideas that contradict the Constitution of the United States of America, that right there is, I wouldn't say treasonous act, but that's definitely a rebellious act. Now, has it been done before because we came from a tyranny king and what he did for us, and we were rebellions, and we were quote unquote terrorists from the king's authority? But you can't label what we have now, our government, as our king. We didn't set up like that. Now, our government may be acting like one, but it's not set up like that.
Kind of like we talked about the 1871 Act or Organic Act. Would her ideas line up with that Constitution? Maybe, like, because how they put government first, and then so are some of the things that
kind of. I think her ideas even go beyond that too. Whereas a full-on state-controlled, she's talking about like equal, same income for everybody. Talking about living in the same houses, having the same spatial property.
One video on the talk show the other night, and she's like,
she doesn't want billionaires, and then she's got a guy who's
over
making hundreds of millions
$10 million
dollars. Yeah,
get taxed at a certain amount. So
you can just tell that if the rhetoric that, or if I can take it down to some the disco jive coming out of their mouth, if you can really take it for what it is and see what they're quoting, because none of this is new. This is socialized healthcare. It's not new. All these ideas are thousands of years old. The Greeks had the same issues with let's take it back more recent. The Romans had the same issue with healthcare, with sewer treatment, running water, the aqueducts. They had all the same issues of a big, huge society. And some of the laws they passed weren't so good in the way of their debauchery. And we saw that the slow decline, at least on the forefront, the Roman Empire, it fell away from being ruled by the emperor of Rome, the Caesar. We still operate on our calendar from from the Julian calendar, from the Julius Caesar.
Yes.
So you think about the power that Rome had as a sovereign king head. Now, some people say we're still in the Roman rule, which I would agree with that on a legal level, with the District of Columbia and how it's all set up. That's all comes from Phoenician, Greek, and Egyptian, all hierarchy, that kind of stuff. But if you just boil it down to simplistic, you are free. Not free like you think I'm free in the mind. You have literally the physical freedom and you have a piece of paper that we all hold very dear that outlines your freedom. And no other country has the types of freedoms that we have. And if you keep on going down the socialistic, Marxist, Ruski thinking path, your sovereignty goes away. Thus,
That's what
your
they've
freedom.
been chipping away at with everything we've gotten so far, folks, if you haven't been paying attention for 30, 40 years. So what would you say just out in the forefront with Trump, with him screaming for sovereignty, the words he's used, and we've gone back, I've made videos at this point, like, wow, I'm finding things, folks, just by listening to a speech during the day. If I'm doing something around the house, I'll have it playing in the background and I'll hear, oh my gosh, did I just hear what I heard? Let me rewind. Yes, I did. So then I'll make a video. It's just that easy. But it's sovereignty, border. These are opposite things. Calling out the Fed and all what they're doing. That's giving the guise away of the New World Order, isn't it? I mean, if you're talking about
I
sovereignty,
agree.
border wall, stopping human trafficking, that's their drug dealing. I mean, that's how bad it's gotten, folks. We've known the mobs to move some drugs or do things like that, but at this level, it's moving humans. It's making money off that. So if you're calling all that out, what do how is it helping the system?
Well, there's a chat up here that I wanted to read. I just saw, which is so true. Oh God, what was it? I just saw over here. It's people often confuse freedom with liberty. I can't find you. Who you are? You know who you are. I'm trying to see here. Here we go. Vor Davoli says people often confuse freedom and liberty. Very true. So right now we're going to clarify for all those 548 watching, all you patriots out there, and I agree with you 100%. Freedom and liberty is extremely, extremely different. When you have liberty, that means somebody is giving you permission to do something. Somebody has control. They're giving you the liberty. I allow you to do something. If you are free, and how do you know you're free? You don't have to ask anybody to do what you want on your own private property. Have you thought about that? I can do what I want over here for the most part, obviously, as long as I'm not hurting another physical human being and what I'm doing on my property. But freedom is not only a state of mind, it's also a place of being, because you have the stature of liberty. What do you think she's giving you? It's almost like from a sailor's position. When you go to land, you have shore liberty. You have the liberty to go to shore. You have for a small time, then you got to come back on the ship. And so freedom is breaking away from that individual trying to tell us how fast we can drive. We need licenses, giving us policies, procedures, codes, and violation. That's liberty. Freedom is basing your life on the Constitution of the United States of America that tells that our rights are endowed by our Creator and they're all self-evident. I mean, another man doesn't have to tell me what my rights are because self-evident means I understand that. They're given to me by God. So I would definitely agree with you. Freedom and liberty are different.
Yes. Yes, folks. All right, I had to... Let's see.
Statue of Liberty is ISIS. Yeah, ISIS horse set. Oh yeah, it's that's Colombia.
We got any good questions from the audience? We'll take a few.
Yeah.
Give
What's
some
up, you
shots
guys?
outs. David Applegate, but yes. I don't know what you were saying there. Walk the talk. Slim Frank at the Patriot Hour. Liberty is a privilege. Yeah. I mean, we've had laws, and you can have it taken away pretty easily, but only if you do these things.
Yeah,
right?
you're right. Liberty is a privilege. We have a privilege to drive, but we have the sovereign right to travel across this America. So I would agree with that
Freedom's got to be
statement.
fought for, it seems like, right? At all costs, and we're doing it now.
I forgot which founding father said that the tree of a nation needs to be flushed with the blood of patriots and tyrants from time to time.
Yes. Every so many years, a nation needs to bleed from within or something.
Mm-hmm. With liberty and justice for all, the Vord Avali. Yeah, think about that. With liberty and justice, how do we have justice? It's called laws. We thus give the laws authority over us, and we all abide by those laws. There you go, the liberty. But those laws have to be in line or parallel with our God-given freedoms.
Yes.
And that's where I think the lines have been real blurred for a long time, and the codes and the policies and procedures and violation and infractions have been overstepping and overreaching laws, which are different.
Yes, David Applegate, we agree. We just went over that he appeared in about, I don't know, 10 minutes ago. Obama was, Golden State Warriors swung by and had lunch.
Either all the Golden State Warriors have got to be 6-7 feet tall, or that man Obama is very short.
Yeah,
I didn't realize how short he was. Soko said, "Who set comic ping pong on fire?"
I saw that.
I don't know. Maybe people who are fed up with pedophilia and they want to see something done.
So think about that. I saw another channel going over that.
He a little man.
Earlier. The way it was titled, it made me click on the video, and the guy was like, "We need to get help to this guy." So some other guy that like YouTube's, I think, yeah, YouTube, because this article, they were trolling him basically, and they were like putting up the picture of the guy that they had a photo of starting the fire to this guy, but the guy's, "I have a beard, and this guy didn't have a beard 2 days ago. How could that be me?" And he was pretty.
Oh yeah,
upset.
by the way, Spy in the Sky 777 said it's Barry Sorrento, not Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Thank you for the correction. Could be on the Pelosi question. She is not that bright. Sheepdog 17. I agree with you. We don't know if what her handlers are doing, because she's looking real robotic. Real robotic. She's 78. I get it. But usually when you go in front of us, if you give her a couple diet pills, get her kind of hyped up in a bunch of water, so she's really peppy and really kind of like this AOC, this Cortez lady. It seems like she's always either on speed or some type of diet pills, because she's always like a million miles an hour. It's like,
Let me see here.
LOL, diet pills. Yeah.
Now they're saying Roger Stone may cooperate with Mueller.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, again, you guys, I mean, there's a lot of assumptions. And if we don't have all the information, at least on a public side, to connect some of the dots, that's where kind of hypotheticals, hypotheses, shooting from the hip kind of comes in, our opinions, and we'll be pretty clear to preface our statements is if this is factual or our opinion, because, we don't know. We don't know if, RGB is still around. I mean, there's been some drops that have alluded to this is the first time in 25 years that she's ever missed these particular proceedings.
Yeah, people are trying to ask now, like, what? Roger Stone? Folks, I'm seeing an article here. It's like from an hour ago, Fox. Former Trump advisor Roger Stone appeared to open the door to cooperating in special counsel Robert Mueller's probe Sunday, even as he called the obstruction charges against him fabricated, and defiantly condemned his dramatic guns-drawn pre-dawn arrest. Speaking to ABC Newsweek this week, Stone told anchor George Stephanopoulos, I don't know how to say his name, he hasn't ruled against the possibility of striking a deal with prosecutors. Ex-Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort is currently fighting Mueller's accusations that he violated the terms of his plea agreement. But there you go. So, I don't know. He said if he knows of any wrongdoings, which he doesn't know of, that he'd tell him, but he doesn't know anything. So I don't know how he's cooperating. It is cooperating. Just telling the truth. If you don't know nothing, you don't know nothing. But
Thorn, I want to question this one. Thornbird comment. All the talk about human trafficking. Can there really be that many pedos? Why so many victims? Um, well, without getting too graphic, dude, these people, the high up, worship Satan, and part of that has to do with doing things to children and child sacrifice. And then we can get into the whole Hollywood thing, and I mean, we can go deeper and deeper and deeper. If you really want to ask that question, I highly suggest that you go down that rabbit hole, but put on the armor of God before you do, brother, because it's
Yes.
some very, very dark. Mike and I, a few episodes back, I mean, I think it was at least a couple of months ago, we covered things called an organization called the Mothers of Darkness that was featured. This is dealing with the bloodlines, the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati, book that was written by Fritz Springmeier, and he brings everything of that to light. And if you're really honestly, if there's that many pedophilia people, yes, there are so many you cannot possibly imagine at the highest levels, at mid levels, at low levels. It's becoming a norm, and that's not
And
healthy for our.
like these people that have investigated, folks, it's a different facet all over. Like we have, we've talked about it. There's central banks. We have one that's called the Federal Reserve. It's just Geisy, and they've gotten their
Mhm.
hands into every country. Ours is a little tougher because we did have our constitution. They had to subvert that, do things in different ways. But and as far as how deep the satanic Luciferian agenda, who's all involved, who's just complicit along the way, who's been blackmailed to help,
Mhm.
we don't know. We have our speculations, and we've gone over some articles and investigative things that have taken us down some crazy paths. We suggest
Yeah, for
watching some of those
sure.
videos, do your own research, but until it's hard to just, and we don't want to just point fingers and start naming off people that we think without having tons of proof. But some of these other crimes are blatant and clear. We start there, the ones that have been done right in front of us. As far as
Well,
creating a war somewhere and then siphoning out the kids like they do, or natural disasters, you can see the evidence leads up to it. You can see weird things that seem to take place every
what
time.
about
But
what about some of the FBI statistics that everybody knows so well, like the 800,000 go missing every year, and out of the 800,000, according to the FBI, and I believe this came out in either 2015 or 16, I don't remember which year it came out in, that out of the 800,000 potentially children go missing, 200,000 are never recovered, never found,
it's like they
completely cold
vanish off the
case,
face
never
of the earth.
off the face of the earth.
And some
So
people come up back, in those eras like UFOs, or and that's one way to think if you're
that's a
into that. But
possibility,
it's like,
but what
okay,
you're
how
talking
about
about is all
getting siphoned out
abduction.
of the country? Well, that's not
And
happening because
we
where's the proof? I haven't heard a couple of news articles on it. That could be how bad it is, folks. All right, we're getting obscured numbers.
so and I mean, so it's like, if you just look at what's coming out, the data we can get our hands on, because that does bring up a good point. A lot of the data that you want to pull from is unknown. Why? Because they haven't been found. These people who are doing this don't get caught. Why there's so many victims? Probably because the victims are all messed up in the head and they're coming out. I mean, I just saw some video of some guy allegedly accusing a very high prominent A-lister actor of molesting and raping him when he was younger, and the guy is much older now, but it was when he was doing Hollywood stuff when he was a kid, and so people are coming out. It's like, if your religion, and not only, we don't have to go that far, if money is your ultimate goal, you'll sell humans, you'll sell organs. What about they say it's about sexual pedophilia, that kind of stuff. What about the organ trade?
And the
Where do you
organ
think these black
harvesting.
market hearts and liver and that kind of, I mean, it goes on and on and on. This is an evil thing
So
wrapped in evil.
you think about that, folks, and now somebody's quickly looking on their phone or their device, 424,000 zero, in 2018, 424,000. You're going to get different numbers by looking at different things because sometimes but the going number is 800,000 a year go missing.
That's on average.
Within months, they're going to find some, like a lot of them are to do with court cases. All right, folks, a bitter custody battle. So parent A, parent B, man, woman go to court. However it ends up, kids end up with man's bitter, pissed. The next visit he gets, he takes them a state away, lives with some family, and then they end up fining the kids. They return them to the parents. The man goes to prison,
Yes.
gets reprimanded, whatever. So a lot come back. And then I hate talking about it, but then they find bones, teeth, things like that. And then they can do records. So out of the 800,000, and now this might've been a 2014 statistic.
Okay.
600,000 are found. All right. 600,000 are found, identified, reunited, given back. However,
solved. The case was
There you
solved.
go. Closed.
Somehow.
And 200,000 have not been. All right. And they haven't found. So you think, whoa, they put wigs on the kids. I'm sure there's some still in country living here that haven't been found. And that's a runaway. They didn't want to be found. However, but out of that 200,000, I mean, you can only imagine how many, like you said,
that's a lot of people
out of the country. Some for the human trafficking, sex trade, some for the organ harvesting,
the organ trade. I mean, some for actual slave. Like, I mean, don't you think these people in the country who've got all the money, don't they think they want people to like do work for them? Having slaves is still a thing. They still have people.
Well,
it's not black and white, red and yellow. It's not.
This is the new age of it, folks. So, I mean, also, how do it's one thing to smuggle drugs right through the border checkpoints and just hope that they don't stop you that day, like, go on, or they stop, got dogs, mirrors, or looking all around, get out of the vehicle, and they want to start doing, but to have 3-4 human, like Trump's been saying now, for months I used to ask Ben, I was like, why are they only still talking about just illegal people crossing, not the human trafficking, not the drugs? That's like bigger than just the hungry people, folks. I mean, and that's one thing. I'm compassionate towards that. I think we let in
all of our fruit comes from Mexico right now. They ain't going hungry over there.
I'm not, not compassionate or get emotional if I think about the hungry women, children, men. I honestly don't care about that. It's the drugs. It's the human trafficking. So that's a whole nother ballgame, folks.
I agree. If you look at society as a whole,
in the border, Ben. I mean, the guards literally opening up the trunk, seeing 5 or 6, 7 people bound, and just
now they say,
shutting the trunk like,
now
you're good, going through.
Is that happen every single day? I mean, at the Border Patrol, they can only check so many vehicles if one's suspicious. I mean, people think that these people are smelling like it's like a dark skinned Latino looking person driving who can't speak English, and it's a big giant van full of 800 people squished like in there, and none of them can speak English. That's not what it is, you guys. It isn't that. It's people of all skin colors driving, and people of all skin colors and many nationalities from different countries are smashed inside there. And are they coming to the main checkpoint? Some who don't pay enough money are. I mean, this is all a money scheme. The people who are coming across the border not paying anything, a lot of them don't make it. I mean, how many documentaries have we seen people from Tijuana, Nogales, all these different areas where they go, they buy a gallon of water and they paint it black and they got to buy special shoes, and they're making the long trek across the desert, and a lot of them don't make it. So they can't afford it. So they go to local cartel. He says, hey, carry a few pounds of heroin on your back, and we'll get you through there. We'll have our coyotes do it. So if they know where the weak point's at, they know there's a drug issue, they have all this kind of stuff. It has nothing to do with people being hungry. Societies have dealt with their people being hungry and entertained. Bread and circus. It's been around for thousands of years. But the one thing that every country's always had to deal with was their border security to maintain their kingdom.
So let's talk about that then for a minute. they are using this new rhetoric of it's barbaric, it's medieval, walls are medieval. Well, what used to happen in medieval times? People walked up on foot or ran up or galloped up. I don't know, whatever. They got there just like they're getting there today. So nothing's changed. No, people aren't driving spaceships to the borders. They're not taking escalators to the they're walking. The same thing they did in medieval times. All right. So nobody really knows. I tried looking into it. I've listened to a lot of people over the years, and you can't really find when the first border wall came up, when the first fences came up. And again, people still use barbaric medieval fences in their yard. If there's some kind of new technology for fences, why don't people have them in their yards yet? Because a regular old wooden structure, chain link fence, it works. It does the job. It keeps the rodents out, maybe the neighbor dog, other dogs. You got a dog. The dog can't get out. Dogs don't typically get in. Dogs sometimes dig underneath. Okay, and you'll correct that problem somehow, some way. But folks, it is. We talked about it, Ben. What people, caveman, even cavemen. All right, you had a small young. If something like a lion came face to face with you back then, the parents were known to like get in front. We still do it today. If there's harm,
shield your children from danger
with your body. You become a fence for your kid, a barrier, because you'll get harmed before they will. So it's a natural instinct. To listen to this rhetoric about it's barbaric, it's old, it doesn't work.
Hey, our Declaration of Independence outlined our borders real quickly, and I'm sorry, this is our new borders. No, yes, this is only the 13 colonies or whatever at the time, but they were pretty clear we were independent. We're no longer. This is no longer, the king's territory. This is our place now. So that is kind of funny.
So, folks, I don't know. This has been a great show. Let's take it to the last 5 minutes. Questions. We're not going to get to a phone call tonight with all the issues. It looks like it's been good. Is everything up? And I think that double stream might be the issue until I do a little bit of upgrading.
Crying Snowflake said the Great Wall of China, I would say, is the first major border wall. Well, and that actually Great Wall of China was not called the Great Wall of China. It's called the Ramparts of Magog. Look that up. If you know who Gog and Magog are, a little bit of biblical names. That quote unquote Great Wall of China wasn't built for humans. Go look that up because it only spans about 3,000 miles. So always a good one. And even before the quote unquote Great Wall of China, there have been other walls before then. We had the first and second dynasty, the Chinese dynasty. They did all kinds of stuff. They did rerouting of waters and rivers to make natural borders and things like that. And every ancient map, all borders were deduced on mountain ranges, on physical land barriers that would separate them.
I just find it funny, Ben. I mean, so we're like, we need a wall. And let's just act like we're opposite of each other. You're going to say we need a wall. I'm going to tell you well, walls don't work. Well, neither do no walls, right? Because of the situation we're in. We don't have it. We don't have it all secure. We have all these other things secure, checkpoints and all that crap. But that's not working either because it's all here. We got everything that we are kind of complaining about in this society. 25 million, whatever, the crime. We got our own crime here. There's all the little rhetorics and but folks, we are in a position where we arrest our own citizens here. We house them at the burden of the taxpayers. Do we want to be known as a country that houses the world's criminals? And, anyone else that wants to come and live good, we're fine with that. But we also house the world's criminals. We don't want to be known. We're already overpacked here with burdened. We got more people in prison here than anywhere, don't we?
Yep, we have the largest prison system on the face of the earth. So we have some of the smallest crimes that have the highest amounts of time being served. And it's because I personally think it's because the privatization of the correctional in the prisons. But that's a whole other little side.
Like we said, the Constitution talks about to be able to travel freely. That's all it really talks about. Now we got the Fed Reserve Act or Fed Organic Act of 1871
That
that
made
turned
District of
our
Columbia.
right, our God-given right, our unalienable right, into a privilege because you have to get a driver's license for your state,
You have to
then
drive
you have
and
to
not travel.
drive, and you're
Yeah, they didn't have
traveling.
no cars back in 1776. Think
So
about that. They had horse-drawn buggies. You walked, you ran, you skipped, you were on a pony. So the idea of traveling is lasting forever. You still can travel in the future. You
it's
can
like
travel in
free
the past.
speech. All right, has that changed? We
That
talked
never
about this
goes.
one.
Yeah,
Back
the
then, the
idea.
only way they could have known to write in the free speech and was to be on your court steps in the town square and yelling as loud as you could that everyone could hear you. That was protected. So here today, we got what we're on. We're here talking to 730 people in the room. Was this
Amazing.
allowed? Well, was this thought of? No, but should it be restricted? Certain people think
Because
so.
yes, well, and that's where you talk is well, why should it be restricted? I'm speaking, no matter how the waves are coming into your ears, it's still a conveyance of my speech. So no matter if it was in the early 1700s and I was speaking and yelling in town square and Mike was in the corner and he was taking notes down because he was going to write it in the paper the next day that some crazy redheaded guy was screaming in the town square, Mike had the freedom to do that. Just as we're doing that now, we're exercising the full entire First Amendment. The amendment to say freedom of speech because it's freedom of speech and the press. We're doing two birds with one show right now. Think about
Yes.
that.
Brad
That's
Independent, real quick, ask, do you think that the wall will be built this year? See, now here's the other thing. That's why we don't want to go down the road with people that are naysayers, all right? Right now you say, we need a wall. No, we don't. It's a waste of money and it won't work. They'll go under it, they'll go over it, and the other areas that we already have, that's how it's getting in. I mean, I've heard it all, and you're just like, whoa. So if we double up security, give these guys more guns, give them more technology at the airport, boating, ships coming in and out, ports of authority, and border checkpoints. And if we ramped up on that, Ben has made this good point earlier. If we ramped up on that real good and start, locking it in to where they're not getting through, then they would go to the open spots. So that'll take a couple good years. And then people are like, well, now that you guys done all this over here, like we were talking about, now they are coming into that area. They might agree, who knows? But now we have to 2, 3, 5 years down the road. No, the damn thing is going to take a couple years to build. So that's why it's got to be started now. And then we've got to ramp up on those areas, possibly with more technology and everything else. I'm not opposed to it. And
well, I think there
have the
was.
wall. Go for
Was it like a
100%.
total of? Yeah, I agree. Now, was it like a total of like about 500 or 600 miles that in completion in total?
I think it's
in all?
1927, and the last one I saw from coming from the coastline of the ocean, California, all
To the
way
mountain ranges or whatever in the
something.
deserts and things. Yeah.
1927, just about 2,000
Now-
miles.
Okay. Now, how many miles has been built so far in the last
That's a
2
good
years?
question. Does anybody know that?
So I think
I don't.
I think I
have
want to say there's a
link or-
couple of 100 miles, 200 or 300 miles. So if you can get us real quickly without us getting all into this little Eddie, I can give you the quick numbers real quick, guys. So we can tell you, we can give you the answer, or at least a good ballpark if things were to remain exactly the same and we had the same
like
workforce.
we said, it doesn't work. But up in San Diego, I think they've got numbers that it's like 98 or 99. That's all. Nothing's 100%, folks. Shoot, I mean, we know this.
If we can just get 500 miles a year, that's 4 years. But wait a minute, if we kick it into overdrive and we get good patriots down there who could good steel workers, good crane operators, good heavy machinery. I mean,
This
we're
is a good
talking.
one. Back in our Cisco, we had the I don't know, the head of the second in charge of Cisco systems, Linksys, come into our class and give us a speech. He came in from San Diego or something, but he said nothing even in the computer world is 100%. There's no such thing as 100% security.
Yeah, he
about
said.
that.
I think he said 100% security is an illusion.
Yeah.
You can only do layered. I think he was
You
going
can
over
layer
there.
and layer and layer, folks. The more you have, and what does that mean? It's like, well, you got bars. You can have just lock your windows. That's one thing. But what can you do to layer on? You can put bars. You ever seen people with bars on the outside windows of their house? It's not too appealing, but that's another layer on top of the locked window behind it. What can you do in front of
By
that?
the
You can
way,
layer.
layer
Nothing's
upon layer,
100%.
get security cameras, get a fence, get a dog. I mean, you're talking boom, boom, boom. Timothy Duke said 674 miles of fence/barriers totally constructed. So if we're at just below 2,000 miles is our goal point, and we're already at 674. Uh, Maybe a couple of years. I mean, and that's just as it's going now. What if we pass the bill and they get huge construction and people are full bore? We got U.S. Steel pumping out them awesome things.
Just having people down there and working on it daily, and then always moving further to keep going to where there's areas of not. It's so much attention. That's going to make it hard for the people to. It'll probably be at its best security. I mean, once it's up and stuff fully, yeah, add some security, some technology, some detectors. I mean, we'll be better off than ever, folks. I mean, here's the thing I like to say: it doesn't hurt anybody to have it done. It literally doesn't hurt anyone's agenda, or the people you'd argue with, your fellow American. It doesn't hurt them. If it doesn't work, they're going to have everything that's going on right now. The same exact thing. Other than that, it's Trump doing it, and they're now worried about tax dollars for the first time in their whole life. They're worried about the tax dollar. Never cared about the black budget.
Who the hell's ever told you it's a waste of money? Like, if somebody's going to tell you that's a waste of money for our budget, really? Then I want you the next question to ask them, well, since you're extensively knowledgeable about our entire fiscal budget, where would the $5 billion better be served, and what department, and how would you break
how
that
do you
down?
feel about the $54 billion approved for foreign aid, by the way? I think that's a really good thing. Where does it exactly
what do they
go?
use it for?
Have you ever followed the money? No, but it sounds good. They don't know, all right? They are using
These people
they're repeaters. They're pieces of repeating shit. All right? That's what happens.
That's what they
folks.
They'll hold a sign that says something totally out of this world, and you ask them what it means, and they're all like, leave me alone. They don't understand.
Folks.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, let's see. Well, I say we go until about 9. Somebody's like, your 5 minutes is up a long time ago.
Yes, it is. We can't help ourselves. We got 5 more minutes now. 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. We'll see.
Shout outs.
Oh, I will say this. I know this is kind of crazy. You now know we're in the age of Noah, biblically, when we're killing children. New York just passed the abortion law day before birth. You can abort. This is sacrificing our children to Molech, and it's mass child sacrificing. And geez,
that's crazy, folks.
It's crazy. We're there. We're there now. We're there. And they want no borders and killing our kids. I mean, how backwards evil is that? And people are all agreeing that that's the way it should be,
Well, and they just came back with the court indictments for the James O'Keefe, the undercover.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Project Veritas. All right, that's what he does. Project Veritas, where he takes the cameras, gets the people from Planned Parenthood. He's done other ones, but man, just now, folks, he went to court, all this and that, and they came back and said that was not altered. It was all legit. These people. And we knew that. I mean, you just look at how they've gotten it set up. You think something's guised and good, but they've been hindering they've screwed a lot of. They're selling parts. They're harvesting. It's no different.
Where do you think stem cells come from, people? Where do you think stem cells come from? Who do you think pushes stem cell research? Where do you think those stem cells come from? I mean, I'll say it again. Where do you think they come from? Let's just break it down. Stem cells. Why do you think the abortion game is so big? These people want to live forever. They want their adrenochrome. They want their
technology to aid them
yes,
forever.
Travel the
cosmos.
Now you wonder why.
This is what they're promised, folks. With the aid of technology, They will become gods. And, super chat. Appreciate that, KE. Did you notice POTUS seemed to downplay kids as victims? Downplay kids as victims in his last speech. Did you notice POTUS seemed to downplay kids as a victim? No. What do you mean? Like,
I know he talked more about women. I know he talked profusely about, like, women getting bound and gagged and then, over that. Huh.
Elaborate on that a little bit if you can.
Yeah, you don't gotta give a super chat at all, but let us know, because I think he was doing. Didn't he say crimes against children? Was that was a FISA? That was the old FISA report coming out. I'm getting those mixed up. No, crimes against humanity.
His last speech, which would have been when he opened up the government, I believe. I just don't know what you mean by downplay, but he said kids, not so much.
Okay. I do remember him saying, like, it was women are getting bound and gagged because. And by the way, people.
Okay, he said kids, not so much.
Well, I would say that it was probably going with the whole human trafficking for like sexual, like sex slaves and stuff, because that's a huge market as well.
Folks, I mean, some of them end up, like you said, Ben, they're either sex slaves, human trafficked, but then kept on drugs and just out of it for a month or two at a time until they're used and abused, and when they're no longer worth anything, they are discarded.
Get their organs, yeah. I mean,
or just done. So
used up, or thrown in the river or whatever. I mean, it just discarded. So it's like these. I mean. This is some, He
might have been making the comment that kids, not so much, that they're not getting bound and gagged because they're not even, some of them might not even be making it out of the country. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that his speeches before that, he really downplayed female and males. Like, I know Trump's hasn't said anything about men getting bound up and tied and gagged and having sexual acts to them. So, thanks, Midwest Shadows. I know you're trying to do your thing, get something going. We always support anybody who gets awoken and wants to start doing their own channel and getting the truth out. We'll always support that, always. If you want to do your thing and start pushing truth and based on logical reasoning and critical thinking, then we support that for sure.
Somebody asked for the PayPal. I just dropped it in the link there for you. Again, it's down below, and we appreciate all the super chats tonight, folks. You guys are great. We've been gone for at least, if today was the day that was to come back on, then it's been 90 days.
There you go. Okay.
I didn't even know of the date originally. Never got a strike or a community
warning,
whatever,
or a community violation or anything like that. So. I don't know. Let's we'll think a little bit more. So, get woke or go broke. David Applegate. Yeah, I see that one. Evil in every race.
Is the State of the Union going to be on time then? Because now that we're open back up, they were arguing about the 29th. All right, I'll wait till we open back up. Now we're open back up. So is the 29th the date? I will be
that's
doing
a good
that
one. That's
on
a good
the
one.
Patriot Tech, folks, for sure. All right. State of the Union. Well, probably won't be here. We don't want to make any issues on the Patriot Hour, but on the Patriot Tech, we will be running the State of the Union that night, whenever it is. If it's the 29th, that's a couple days away. I don't think they would, I can't, now we'll see Nancy maybe. We should do it after the 15th if you are not going to agree. But I know I'm not going to agree. I don't know what's, but it's supposed to be the 29th. The government's back open. She was trying to have them. You're not welcome. Is she going to invite them now? Government's open. People are eating.
Government's open. People are gotten paid, all up to date. Business as usual until the 15th of next month. So, before hey, you guys are awesome. Lots of love to all you guys, the Patriots. I mean, the Patriot Hour has literally has changed Mike and I's life. Literally. I mean, it's taken us to a trajectory. And with you guys, it's amazing. So obviously,
Lightseeker 17.
nice. I mean, you guys are just amazing.
Thank you
It
so
really, Mike had got a lot of love from the PO box, and the Patriot's got a PO box now. And we were talking in Garage Talk, and he was showing me some of the original gold and silver certificates from like 1780, 1781, 82, something like that. That was basically certificates saying that this can be. I think you had like a $5 or a 5 issue, five. I don't know what to call it, but really awesome stuff from you guys. And we were talking about that. It's like you can read about this stuff, you can see it, but the bottom line is when you have it in your hand. Yeah, look at this, you guys. $4, 1778. So this is then. I think if you turn on the other side, it says redeemable in gold and silver. So that's $5. There it is. That's what it used to look like. Gold and silver. So we were dollars. That's what we were. We were dollars. That's what, you know. There you go.
North Carolina.
North Carolina. This is good for reliable. The act of something Hillsborough, the 8th day of August, 1778. So this was issued.
Gold, silver.
That is a gold and silver certificate worth $5. And this stuff is awesome, you guys. I mean, awesome. So you ask, what will it look like? What you got here? Here's you'll kind of see there's different
State of New Hampshire.
State of New Hampshire's certificates. So you see how each state had its own sovereign power to print certificates based on their personal gold reserves in that state. And then if you were in the state of New Hampshire, there you go, that's a good one. Let's see if we can get them there. Is that $20?
Let me get a...
Okay, is that $20?
Yes.
And again, you see, and these are gold and silver certificates that people exchange for dollars. That's what they call them. And it's well, how you got this is $2 or $3, and say okay. So just to show that you can actually touch money, and there's still quote unquote, you know, these certificates are floating around. Yes. That you ask, well, what's going to kill the Fed? How will we work without no Federal Reserve? You know?
Could you redeem those in other states? Yes.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could. Because of the Constitution, the United States of America, and it was the Treasury that allowed those certificates, that the Treasury issued gold and silver to the state banks. And then those state banks issued certificates to their people.
Tick-tock. Red pill, tic-tac, tick-tock, folks. Yes, there it is. Had this.
Okay, hold on. James Rader said the United States owned the Treasury. Who prints them? Well, if you're trying to say who prints the money, then the United States Treasury, dude.
United States Treasury.
Our mint. Yep.
That's ours.
That's why the Federal Reserve does nothing but tell us how much we can print and make it based on nothing.
Where does Fort Knox rely? Outside of D.C. Where do the mints rely? Outside of D.C.
D.C., yep.
They still play by the rules a little bit. They've just subverted. They put a middleman in there, all right? The Fed.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do anything. Think about it, folks. Do we really owe the debt? We were talking about this in another video. Now that we got more of you here, I'd like to re-hit on that, and I'll close it off on this, and then I'll give Ben a minute.
Go ahead, man.
Think about that, folks. Do we normally, if you borrow a $20 bill to your friend or a coworker, that's $20 you earned. All right, it really has value to you. You earned it. It's yours, even in this system that we're in. And if you loan it, that creates lots of issues. Sometimes, oh, that guy owes me $100. He hasn't paid me. That's a lot of money. When we need to borrow money from the Fed, it's not coming out of anybody's pocket. The minute we say we need $9 trillion, They authorize it to be made at that minute. It doesn't come out of these international Federal Reserve bankers' pockets. They're not loaning it. They snap their fingers and say, all right, we'll make that much for you. And you're going to pay us back some debt. So there's also debt on that and instantly they make a phone call to our own treasury and authorize that to be produced. And a bunch of interest for them. On the fly. Just for us having to borrow it. Didn't come out of anyone's pocket. Nobody earned it. Right, Ben?
No, I agree with you. I mean, people are so, it's spells, it's wizardry, it's
an act.
Spells they've gotten you under, because if the Federal Reserve, if their currency is based on nothing, then what do we owe? Nothing. When your currency is based on a tangible good, and it has to be like a precious material like gold and silver, then that means there is something that if the paper gets burned up, there's still something tangible that was worth something. When the Federal Reserve came in and says, what we're going to do, and a lot of people don't even know how they even work. Like, they think the Federal Reserve is federal and it has reserves. And again, this is word porn they try to give you guys.
It's neither federal nor reserve, by the way.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve.
They have no reserve, and they're not federal.
The Federal Reserve gets treasury bonds, and then through those treasury bonds, basically it means they're going to own a part of our government because they got treasury bonds from our government. You know, if you know what a bond is, you go look that up, and then you come back and you be a little more educated on the bond stuff. Then they say, okay, good, we're going to authorize this much more dollars to be put into circulation. So then the Denver Mint or the Mint in Pittsburgh start firing up the presses, and they start printing off what the Federal Reserve told them to flush into the economy. So that's how it works. So our treasury gives away a part of our treasury, our government, in bonds. And then they say, by the way, okay, you can print some more money. Thank you. And then we go back and we print our own money, our own ink, our own thing that's based off of nothing, and put it into the economy. Very dangerous. You're dealing with deceptions. And this is as evil get, and as old as time. Because when you start putting basing your money off of nothing, and a small group of men can control it, you're doomed as a society.
I agree. Midwest Shadows, thank you. Longtime subscriber. Thanks for what you do. Please sub our channel if you like ghosts and laughs. Also, seen you guys FBI Anon post. Have you guys seen the FBI Anon post? Yes. I don't know if there's some new ones out today. We'll check out your channel for sure, brother.
Midwest Shadows.
Midwest Shadows. Appreciate it.
Yep. Awesome.
Appreciate
Lots of
guys.
love, man. And again, like we said, get your truth out, and if you can, get your own channel going because you have such a passion and you have such a heart for getting the information out, we're all for that, man. Not too many people have the heart to broadcast or have the time, the research, or the technological ability to get this stuff out. So we always support that.
Yes. Want to thank all a couple new mods tonight. Lori M, you've done great. Seen you in here most of the time.
Yes, that's cool.
Amy earlier, David Woodruff, thank you, brother. And we're gonna have to. I don't know if Chris Stockton was a subscriber here before we ever got booted. I know he was.
I don't remember.
So I haven't seen them in. A couple people were missing here and there lately, but we'll get back to it. A couple more of these, we'll figure it all out. So again, I'm just going to say, keep fighting for the truth. Never let go of your freedoms. And we're here together, folks. We're going to keep doing this journey and go over tons of different things that we believe to be pertinent at that point in time and on that day. Again, big things coming up here in the next few weeks. Government will be back open tomorrow. It's already kind of reopened, but as far as I believe, business as usual. So, all right, Ben, any words of
God bless to all you guys. Remember, if you know some stuff we're talking about, just put on the armor of God, keep on pushing forward, and know that Mike and I always tell you, don't believe a single word we say. Take everything we say and research it. Try to debunk it. Try to find the truth in it. Find your own truth. Connect your own dots. And we're just here to hopefully present you with some good data to ingest and munch on. And lots of love, man. I just can't begin to say how awesome our Patriots are. And we're all still moving forward.
Right. Oh, just got a Lynn Jackson $1.99.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome. Yes, wow.
I appreciate it. All right, folks, we will see you back here real soon. Next Patriot Hour. Glad to be back live on the Patriot Hour. How awesome. What a great day.
Super awesome.
So 2019 is going to be glorious. All right.
For sure.
You guys have a great evening. We'll see you back here on the next one.
All right. God bless.